All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Z Fold 6's superpower. So let's get into it. Many people know of this phone, and many people say it's, not as good as the other foldable phones on the market. But a lot of people don't realize that this phone has a superpower, and that superpower is this outside screen. And wait, I know you're about to click off the video, but let me just show you why this is a superpower. So first things first, this is a regular size phone, Pro Max, ultra size phone, and it is obviously bigger than the Z Fold 6's outer display. However, the Z Fold 6's outer display, one thing that makes it amazing is because of how one-handable it is. Like, it's very easy to hold, very easy to maneuver up and down my hand. You can see I can reach the top and the bottom of the screen very easily, left and right, super easily. I don't even have to do anything. So it's very one-handable, very easy to use. And on top of that, you might think, oh, smaller screen, that means less visible content on the screen. But that's actually not the case. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here I got the same website, same page loaded up. They're both at the top of the page. And as you can see, the amount of information visible on both of these screens is basically the same, exactly the same. I can see the same amount of text, the same amount of pictures, and even the size of the text is exactly the same, even though this screen is bigger. And you're going to have to, if you want it to be bigger, you're going to have to zoom in and stuff like that, which you can definitely do very easily on the Z Fold 6. So the amount of information is actually not that much hindered compared to a normal size smartphone. So you get one-handability plus a normal viewing experience in most apps. And to be honest, I haven't really encountered an app that doesn't work well on this outer display. Every single app that I've used, even games included, just work properly on this outer display. The other thing about this phone screen is that it's a tall aspect ratio. So let's say I do split screen very quickly. I have my app pair here. If I tap that, boom, now I got YouTube and I got Samsung Internet in a split screen. I can have a YouTube video up here and essentially have a full app at the bottom of the screen. If I go back to Apple, I'm only missing out this little section right here. So you're not losing too much even in split screen on this smaller display. And if you were to do the same thing on this bigger phone right here, a normal size smartphone, this is the kind of experience you have. So you're actually seeing less on the page compared to the Z Fold 6. But that's also partly due to Samsung software being able to, allow you to have more increments with how you adjust your split screen. A lot of phones only have one size when it comes to that. So the Z Fold 6 is allowing me to see more on the page and still have the video relatively close in size to the normal smartphones. So there is that. And also rotating it, Samsung software, again, allows you to have more split screen increments, split screen adjustment sizes compared to other smartphones. Like literally so many different sizes. Whereas most other smartphones, you basically have a 50-50 split. A lot of phones don't allow you to adjust it any more than that. So there is, again, another benefit to having this long aspect ratio. And then the other cool thing about the outer display is that although it is small and narrow, if I go full screen with the YouTube video, I can use the hinge to prop up the screen just like that, built in. So regular phone, you can't do that unless you use like a MagSafe mount or like a snap pop or whatever they're called. Then you can prop up your phone in a similar way. But with the Z Fold 6, because it has a hinge, I can literally just have it propped up and it just works pretty well. And then you also have tent mode. You can go like this and do the same thing essentially. You can even have it standing up like this. Although it will be smaller, but very functional still. I can scroll like this if I wanted to. And then just the fact that it's so easy to carry, so easy to hold, so easy to maneuver means that I can get so much done all with one hand, one thumb. Like I showed you with the multitasking, like if I go bomb and then I go bomb, floating window. And because of the taller aspect ratio as well, you have more space for your floating windows compared to other devices. So let's say I have 3 of these floating windows open. I can't even do multiple floating windows on this phone. A lot of other Android devices don't support more than one floating window, but let's just say I go on YouTube. In YouTube, this is one floating window on this device right here. And you can adjust the size. And obviously a bigger screen is going to be better for this kind of thing when it comes to like, if you can have multiple floating windows. But the tall aspect ratio of the Z Fold 6 actually makes it pretty decent, even on the cover display. And just the fact that Samsung software is so maneuverable. But the point is, this phone screen size is smaller, but because it's so sleek, so easy to hold. You can literally just pull this out, start doing this right away, lock your phone, or you can open up your phone and get it locked in if you really want to have a better experience. You get the best of both worlds while having an ultra portable design. The way I see it is this outer display size, it just makes it a superpower because of how small and sleek it is. Like I said, easy to hold. And the fact that it can just go in and out of pockets without any issues. Like this is a normal smartphone size. I've had, 16 Pro Max, S25 Ultra, OnePlus 13, the classic big slab phones, the prime ones. And those are all good phones. But like when I came back to my Z Fold 6, the size of it just made me feel so happy because of how nice it is to use. Even with two hands, I love typing on this. I don't know why, but with one hand, it's such a nice experience. Because if we're being honest, a lot of our smartphone usage is going to be with one hand. The quick sessions, you pull out of your pocket, check a message, all with one hand. With this phone, I feel so confident, like I can do anything with it. I'm not going to drop it. And then it's just so maneuverable, so flexible and versatile. And even like taking pictures and stuff, this is so much easier to hold and maneuver with one hand and, just adjust and use the camera versus a normal smartphone. Like I've had so many instances where I'm trying to take photos with a normal size smartphone and it's just not as comfortable. You like one little movement and the phone is like, my fingers are like kind of slipping. And my hands are not small. Like I don't have the biggest hands, but I also don't have small hands, and I still find the Z Fold 6 very comfortable to use and just easier to maneuver overall. So I really enjoy the outer display. And then another cool thing, obviously people know this, is that you can use the outer display as a viewfinder for your camera, but it just allows you to do so many different things. Like, for example, I'm taking a picture straight down, but I have the viewfinder directly facing me. So I can, look at the screen while I'm taking the image. So I don't have to break my neck to get different kinds of shots, different kinds of angles. It's just a really cool experience overall. And then if I have this on a tripod, you see the MagSafe ring, I have this on a tripod, I can have the camera facing down while the viewfinder is showing me what's happening. So I can do a top-down shot while, looking at the screen without having to break my neck to see on top of the phone if it was like this, regular style. With other phones like the S25 Ultra, the 15 Pro Max, 16 Pro Max, I have to, stand up and look over the camera to see how it looks, the shot. But with this phone, literally just look at the viewfinder like this, like normal. I don't have to try it because it's just there while the camera is still facing the ground. So that is really cool and versatile with this phone. And I know you can do similar things with other foldable phones, but the fact that this is so pocketable, so one-handable, so small and versatile, it just makes it amazing in my opinion. So I think, people consider this slimmer outer display a weakness, but I consider it a benefit and even a strength. And obviously it depends on who you are, what you value, what you like. But me personally, I love this outer display. It's just too tough. The only thing that I wish it had was S Pen support on the outside. That would have been really nice. And I know the screen's not big, but to be able to just, quickly write down some notes on the outer display, that would have been really good. Just like the Honor Mag V3, the OnePlus Open, the Oppo phones, that would have been a good experience overall. But it doesn't hurt to just open it up. So yeah, my usage with the Z Fold 6 and previous Z Fold models with the outer display versus the inner display is probably like around 50-50. And it depends on the day. Some days it could be more either one. Like if I'm traveling a lot, I'll probably use the outer display a lot more because it's just easier to hold on the go and I don't mind typing on it. But if I'm like locked in, I'm working, then obviously I'm going to use the inside screen. And if I'm multitasking, playing different kinds of games and stuff like that, I'll use the inside screen more. But either experience I have, I don't feel like either one is bad. Like I feel like this is the perfect combination. This screen width is about the same as the iPhone 13 mini. So that just tells you how nice it is. Because I enjoyed the 13 mini, but then this phone is also a lot taller. So you have a lot more space to do different things in combination with Samsung software. Yeah, and then when you look at the smaller versions of these smartphones, like the S24 base model, the S25 base model, even the iPhone 16 base model, this screen size is not that much smaller than those. It is smaller, obviously, in terms of the width and the narrowness, but it's not that big of a difference realistically in your experience. So, I mean, personally, I don't mind sacrificing a couple of millimeters for a one-handable design, and then you open up the phone and you have a big, amazing display on the inside. And I actually like this aspect ratio a lot more than recent foldables. A lot of the bigger foldable phones with the 8-inch screens and stuff like that, they have weird square aspect ratios and barely a difference when it comes to landscape versus, vertical or portrait. So I actually like that there's a difference here. And you get two different experiences when you use the phone, whether it's upright or in landscape. So that is also one benefit to the phone being a little bit taller. And I hope, obviously, I know Samsung is going to go to a bigger screen with the Fold 7. I hope that inner aspect ratio stays very similar to the Z Fold 6. If it does change, I hope it gets closer to 16:9 so we can get a better video experience and a better gaming experience on the inner display. But yeah, these are my thoughts on the Z Fold 6's smaller outer display. I know people hate it a lot, but I see it as a superpower. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until the next video, we are out. Peace.